Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are here because you're trying to reroll your character in City of Heroes, and for some reason you're thinking about going with a tank. Well, why would you want to go for a tank? Why not go for a scrapper or a brute? There's a lot of brutes right now are saying that people are saying it's the way to go. Why would you want to go tank if now in Homecoming any class or archetype could get to similar levels of resistance and defense and basically do the same thing. Masterminds can tank. Peacebringers and War Shades can tank pretty well. Blaster could probably tank, right? Controllers definitely. Defenders probably not. But why would you want to go tank? Well, tankers have something that they can do a little bit differently. Every archetype has their own inherent ability, and while brutes might be able to generate more damage, and stalkers, scrappers are gonna crit higher and be able to do more things, tankers are able to have somewhat of like a little AoE taunt. Every time that they use an ability or hit an enemy, they're going to taunt the enemies around them as well. So how can you make best use of that? And what power sets could you pick that are not better suited towards something else? Well, let's just go down the list here. We'll go down the list of secondaries and then talk about maybe some possible combinations that you would do in order to maximize your taunt, because that's what you're going to be doing in most of the teams that you join, task forces that you do. The whole reason that you're there is because you want to be taunting the enemy and getting their focus on you. Bio armor is, right off the bat, probably one of the best choices that you can make. It's good on a lot of archetypes. Stalkers are really good with bio armor. I believe Sentinels, it's one of the top ones for them. You do get a bunch of these player-based auras, area of effect things around you as you get higher level, and that definitely helps out because each of those is adding to your taunt. Which secondaries would I pair with that? Really, you can't go wrong. It's interesting because bio armor has this thing where it transforms into three separate adaptations that you can do, and some people do that with staff fighting, because staff fighting also has three different forms that you can do, so you can kind of mix and match and be able to do a lot more with your tank. We'll talk more about secondaries coming up, but another good one always is super strength. You could do Titan weapons. A lot of good things would work with this. A lot of juicy secondary. Dark armor is also one of the best possible primary armors for a tank, because for other archetypes it doesn't do as well as what it would do for a tank. It's very endurance heavy, and it kind of comes up with its own mini game of turning on and off different auras as needed. It's not the best in PvP. It used to be okay back in the day. Spine's dark, all this crazy cool stuff that you could do. Specifically, dark super strength, I've been hearing really good things about. And I'm going to say super strength for anything because it's like the best secondary. I'm sorry to say, but it is. Just going right off, it's the best. Electric armor is nice. This is probably not the best for a tank. It's better on something like a stalker, more likely. Fiery aura, fantastic on a tank, better on a brute, right? Because if you were wanting to do a lot of damage, you would be a brute, because you would want to ramp up and get all that nice fury going on. So probably not for a tank, but there was some popular builds with, again, super strength or the battle axe back in the day. That was really good. Ice armor is fantastic, and I'm glad to see a few more people using this. It's not very popular, so if you want a really strong primary that not a lot of people use, go ice. You have icicles. And you could do spines, right? So you have like your blazing aura thing. It's almost the same as doing fire, but you also have these other wet ice. It's going to affect the enemies around you, which fire wouldn't, armor wouldn't have. You get hibernate in case things get too hairy. Ice is amazing. More people should do that. Ice spines, ice super strength. Again, really strong. Titan weapons could be good for that as well. Invulnerability is a classic and a staple. You're never going to go wrong with invulnerability, and I've seen a lot of farmers doing invulnerability, or people doing council farms. They'll do invulnerability if they're not doing fire instead. Really good PvP, but this is also better maybe on a sentinel or something like that, because if you're going to go tank, it's kind of boring to do invulnerability. Radiation armor is new. It's strong, and it's okay in PvP. From what I'm hearing, you can do radiation armor on. I think a tank is actually supposed to be pretty good with radiation armor on it. Why not? But then again, it's probably better on a sentinel, so do something different. Now, shield defense is fun, and I'm going to switch over to a secondary here. Shield defense is nice because it gives you one with the shield. And a good question to ask yourself is, if I want to be shield, what archetype am I going to be shield with? Do I want to be tank so that when I, or sorry, not one with the shield charge. So that, do I want to teleport in, do damage, get taunt from the damage that you do, which I tested and it worked. You also get grant cover, which doesn't give you any defense, but it makes your allies, it makes those around you, so really good for a tank. It makes them stronger against all odds. Is going to taunt any enemies around you as well, so it's like a little taunt market. Really good on a tank, right? Secondary power, of course, if you want, they'll say go electric melee, because then you can do lightning rod, right? So you shield charge, do lightning rod. It's really cool because you can actually macro one to shift and one to alt, and then left click, so you just like click, like you just click around. You can get spring attack from the jump line, get a third teleport. You can be jumping around if that's really what you want to do. Do it on a tank. Why not? Now the other archetype that this works on is if you go to a stalker, because both of those attacks are not they don't break stealth. They are a pseudo pet, lightning rod, and then the shield defense, shield charge. So you might want to do that on a stalker instead, because you get that little niche thing that a tank couldn't do, but you'll end up with similar resists anyways, although tankers of course will always have slightly more resistance or defense than any of the other classes. Also, maybe you don't taunt as much. Maybe you do if you're fast. Do you want taunt? Are you doing more damage? Seems like teleporting would be more for that anyways. Brute could do electric and shield, but is that... I mean, yeah, you can stack up Fury. It's going to be nice to go through. I mean, it would work. Why not? You know, but if you're not going to get as much taunt as a tanker, and you're definitely not going to be just as beefy as a tanker and get like an extra 500 or so hit points. Also, because you would be a tanker and you have a max HP up, True Grit raises your max HP, and is it true? I think it's True Grit, right? Yeah. Additional hit points. Yeah, you gain additional hit points. So on a tanker, it's best. All three are good. I'm not mentioning Scrapper because whatever, you hit criticals a little bit more often, great. There is probably something good for Scrapper. I haven't found it yet. Stone Armor. Now, Stone Armor used to be good back in the day. I'm going to go out here and just say no. Stone Armor is not good anymore. Granite Armor used to be awesome because it would max you out, which was kind of difficult to do back in the day. But you get a slow when you use it, and that's not worth it. You can get the same amounts with any of the other abilities and not suffer that penalty. Now, I thought of, and I saw somebody do a stone spines. So you could do granite armor and then also have granite armor, and then you could also have quills going. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be... I did pick my powers. Wouldn't that be a great way to get aggro if you were to go up, boom, and then spines? But I don't think so with the slow, and you got to go so fast, and you would want to be leading the charge so much. Don't do it. Also, can't change granite armor. Nope. Sad face. Alright, super reflexes on a tank. Yes. For whatever reason, if you had an idea for super reflexes and you were like, man, I really just wish that I could be the most ultimate, nobody could hit me, things would bounce off dude that there ever was, do it. I don't know what primary would go with that. You know what I mean? I hate to say, maybe katana or martial arts. Weirdly enough, because katana is going to give you... one of those gives you plus defense. I forget what it is. Here it is, yeah. Divine Avalanche increases your defense. And then you have super reflex, which is giving you, is it res or defense? Defense debuffs. Defense. I don't know, man. There's some pretty cool things. Titan weapons we haven't even talked about yet. Titan weapons would be amazing with anything that we've spoken about so far. But it's even super reflexes. God, that'd be so cool. Willpower is nice on anything, especially tanks. Again, one of these is going to let you get more aggro the enemies around you. You're healing more. You have a higher base health, strength, and will. You want to just tank. You want to be a cool guy and not have a bunch of bulky stuff cover up the costume that you work so hard on. Go willpower. It'll be fun. You're going to take everything anyways, but at least you'll be getting a little bit more aggro. Through the secondary powers, it's all about the looks. What do you want to be looking at? Battle Axe was cool back in the day. I haven't seen a lot of people use it, but you do get to use a weird pickaxe, a shovel, a Rickety axe. I mean, it looks pretty nice, especially because I heard, like, we might be getting some lost things. What was that one? Whoa. Looks like Thor's hammer. Ooh. Somebody make that. That looks neat. It looks just like the one in the movie. Broadsword is probably better on a stalker because they can control when the crit goes off, and it's slow and it's end heavy, and you probably don't want to be using it. Claws, I would say no. There would be a better place for claws, and it's not a tank. Dark melee, yes. But, you know what's funny? You don't take Shadow Maul. I heard. Now, I haven't messed around with this enough to know, but I heard Shadow Maul, the animation time takes too long, and there's actually a way to get higher damage without doing that Soul Train Dark Consumption. Oh, yummy. Do this on a Dark or an Invulnerability Dark, and you'll be golden. Dual Blades, you know what? Honestly, for the life of me, I forgot Dual Blades existed until just now. Woohoo. No way. Maybe. They look cool. I remember having one of these back in the day. They must do something right. For a tank, I guess. They're going to do a couple little combos. You want your own little game while you're running around. Do dual blades. Why not? Nobody else is. Electric melee, we talked about that a little bit. You could do your lightning rod around with anything. Not just with the stone. Or sorry, not just with the shield, but also the stone armor. Or fire. Why not? Cut down on it. Let's get this guy a better costume. There you go. Oh, wow. No. There. He's a cow. Continuing on, energy melee. Now, this was really big back in the day, not for tanks, but for blasters. I would say, hey, if you want to, I thought I picked stone already. If you want to reminisce, why not? Your attacks aren't that necessary unless, I mean, you just need taunt and you need whirling hands, but there probably are better options out there for you. Fiery melee, great. Why not? You can do it for farming builds, but I think it doesn't look great, except you can set the greater fire sword for any of your animations, so you can always have the big one. There you go. You can always have it. Or you can have the scimitar. Ice melee is fantastic. You get an ice patch that you can use. I've seen people do this for farming, specifically council maps as well. It's very nice. Frozen aura. Look at that. You get this extra thing around you that other people don't get just because you're a melee. I mean, you want to talk about a tank that's really going to be able to grab the taunt and stuff around them. There you go. Ice patch, knock things down, jump away, still doing stuff. Crazy. Katana, probably not. I mean, I guess you could, but I've never seen a tank use katana. It gives you plus def. I mean, if you're really just trying to max that out, but you probably could hit max pretty easily anyways. Connect melee looks amazing. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you get... Let's just look at the bright version, and we'll change it to something crazy. Look at this. You gotta play a tank, you gotta get aggro, you're gonna be sitting there all day. Why not look at some pretty cool animations? You got some burst. Oh man, no, these look really cool. It's like you're a total martial arts guy. That's such a long animation though. I don't like the concentrated strike. Speaking of cool powers, martial arts, if you ever had the chance, not a lot of people use it anymore, but it does look pretty cool. They gave it an update, so you actually have punches now. So you may have seen a lot of the kicks. I guess that one's still a kick. But you can have punches, not just the big crazy kicks that they had going on. You really do have more of a martial art guy kind of thing. There would be street fighting coming up is even better. Psionic melee is better for a stalker because they get the greater side blade. Radiation melee is fantastic. You should definitely take that. You could even take it on a tanker if you wanted to. Probably better on a brute. Has some long animation times, but that is going to do contamination to all of the bad guys around you. Savage melee is neat. I think it's better on a stalker. You get to jump around. You get to do stuff. I did one on my tank just for looks because they kind of just slash around like they're going nuts. Sure. Spines is great. I mean, if you want to be a magnet for that, but really probably on a brute would be better. Staff fighting, you would never get a better chance to do it than on a tanker. It's too bright. Because you get to switch staffs, your stances, you get to do all these crazy stuff. You could make a big scythe if you wanted to, which I would do if I made one, which would look like... Isn't there a scythe one? Maybe I'm wrong. I forget what the scythe is. I thought there was one. But they can do some cool stuff too. You would never get another chance, might as well. Stone, a lot of people go for that because they think it sounds cool. Tremor is nice. I mean, it is a pretty cool knockback. Hurl Boulder, which you would only other get in Super Strength, Seismostrath. Is there a no redraw ability? I don't know. I think that would kill me. I hope it's no redraw. Probably is. Street Justice is amazing, but not on a tanker. However, it has one of my favorite abilities, which is Spinning Strike, which looks just bonkers. It looks really cool. You get your little game that you get to build up combos and stuff, so that could be fun to do on a tanker. And it does do pretty good damage, but this is better suited on a stalker. Super Strength is probably the best secondary that you could take on a tanker in a finite thing, because you pop rage and you're trying to get stuff done before the crash, or you can double up rage sometimes before the crash. The only abilities that you take are Jab, Haymaker, Taunt if you want to do that for Hamadin, if you want to be one of the taunters, but you don't have to. Knockout Blow, Rage. And I don't even know if you take Hurl half the time, because all you have to do once you get your recharge up is just, and this is almost real time, boom, 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 or bam, and you can punch the ground, and it looks so much cooler. So if you wanted to be doing that, and you want your guy to do that over and over and over again, and then do that, and then do that, Super Strength is the one for you, and it's honestly, it's the best. Titan Weapons looks really cool. There's a bunch of different options if you haven't seen them already. Look at that. You can do a bunch of crazy stuff here. Oh, that's the Scythe. It's pretty good on a tanker compared to some of the others because you can sweep around. A lot of the excuse me, damage that it does is AoE or is a sweep. I think almost everything is. And it also gives you plus defense with the first ability, defensive sweep, which you have to take anyways. You can color customize it a little bit. Let's see how that looks. Can't really tell. But there's a lot of, whoa, that's horrendous. Jeez. Wait, what are you going to look at the whole day? And then War Mace, I heard, is fantastic right now. Well, actually, let me go back for a minute. War Mace and Titan Weapons are both fantastic, but Titan Weapons looks so cool if you mix it with Dark Armor, because when you turn into that ball of a cloak of darkness, you just see the big weapon walking around, or you just see the spines or something. But it's really funny and really cool to see the big weapon just going around. So that's, if you want something cool to look at, Dark Titan weapons. War Mace is supposedly really strong right now. It hits for a lot harder than a lot of the other weapons do. I haven't seen it as much as I would think that you could. And look at this, like, you could be whoever with a baseball bat, and you run in there and you're one of the strongest heavy hitters that they have, and you're tanking this stuff. Why not? A wooden club. Oh, okay. Man, there's so many. Look at, there's so many good ones. Again, a weird Thor one. Wow. Not that one so much, actually, I lied. You could do so much cool stuff with this. And just because you chose mace. And then, if it's, I would think that the weapon ones, especially if you wanted to do your costume, look at that. You could just do so much with this. I'm going to select the baseball bat. And then look what you can do. You can, well, you would have to get this one. So, ooh, you get a swipe, pulverize. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, kind of same. What are my options here? Oh, no redraw. You're kidding me. Oh, this is like the best one now. Okay, found it. It's not super strength. It's mace. Build up, clobber, whap them on the top of the head. You know that's who you want to be. Whirling mace. Shatter. Look at those quick. Look at those quick redraws. You know what that would be really good with? Is, do we not get energy aura? Do we not get regen? What is this? No energy aura, no regen. Okay, those would be the best. But if you wanted to go like rad armor, oh, shield defense. Oh no, shield defense with mace. That's what you gotta go. You get so many shields too. What's the fast way? There you go. No. Ah, it's just, it's. I don't like looking for a shield because you have to click each one, and then click it, and then click it. Ooh, but it does show both at the same time. Yeah. Can I just pick the one I want? Okay. I wanted like tech shields. Man, you could do so many nice things with that. And then you just be jumping and doing crazy single target damage or super strength. Like, there's nothing. It's just what you want to look at more like. For the radiation armor, in case anybody hasn't seen that yet, because it is one of the newer ones, you are going to be able to cap anything you want. You're going to be able to do heals and aggro to stuff that's around you. And it looks super cool. So do a tank. Pick one of the options that we talked about that has the ability to taunt something around it or to teleport around it. You're going to want to put macros on things like your teleports. You're going to definitely want to bind to like activate a like build momentum and then use rend armor. And when you use some of your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 abilities, whatever you're using, you can also set those to follow your target automatically. So I can do a video about keybinds and macros because I have a bunch of them saved up, but I hope that this was able to introduce you a little bit more to the primary and secondary abilities here for the tanker. As far as travel abilities, it depends on what you want to do in game and how you feel comfortable, but I would recommend always going for super speed, super jump. You probably don't need combat jumping for the luck of the gambler slot, because most of the abilities are going to have defense, or unless you don't have defense and you just have high res, then you would probably want to grab one or two of those abilities, maneuvers, things like that. You do probably want to get tough and weave just to make sure that your abilities are capped out at the top of the defense and resistance. Remembering that you're not going to be doing the most damage, but there are ways that you can do things. Super strength, again, getting that rage in there. If you wanted to do something like claws and you wanted to go more so just for the looks, they also have some of the best in-game models, in my opinion, that we really don't get to see enough of. And when I do see somebody with the claws, I think to myself, wow, that's somebody who, like this one here, who went for the costume. Let me go backwards on that one. Look at that. Oh, man. You want to be a cool tank because you're not going to be doing the most damage. You're going to be standing there trying to look cool, and really anything can work. What are the best Hammondin tanks? There are none. Whoever has taunt is the best. Taunt, and then probably something that allows you to hit from range so you can hit them and get in. What's the best PvP tank? Honestly, they're not the best in PvP, but it's probably going to be super strength. Yeah. You go super strength, you pop your rage, you get your damage bonus. You don't even need hurl because you got so many other abilities and stuff. Knockout blow. You probably don't even take foot stomp, I wouldn't think. And then it used to be fiery aura. You would pair with that. Invulnerability, you'll be just fine. Ooh, what would be another good one? Vulnerability, rad armor, fiery, dark, bio, maybe electric, maybe ice if you built it up enough, and super strength if you wanted to PvP. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have a good time tanking out there.